Well, everybody, I'm sorry for the lateness. Internet. Good evening, everybody. Sunday Adelaja here again. We are still talking about calling. So we're going to continue our lesson today on calling. So he's going to be the first person welcoming us today. Who are we? Akinyemi Adebayo, welcome. Jigem Eric, welcome. Rochelle White, welcome. Victor Gundikwe Mashu Esong, welcome. Lola Shorinke, Nikki Okoro, Delis Didi, Adeleke Adeniyi, Bola Luro, Elizabeth Ali, welcome everyone. Lanon Adebayo, Noble Kingsley, welcome. Mike Borge. No, words of Zachary. Ade Dokun, Ade Basil Elibo, Jacob Saleh, hi. Apia Joshua, welcome. Paul Eric, Senior Zachary, Minister Talker, Lilia Basic, Ushi Anishe, Opute Ben, Maraizu Ikeshuku, Esther Kuganja, Oluwatoyi, Adedoko, Sine, where is that cross? Sine, Sheik, Anya. Well, welcome everybody. Okay, let me welcome a few more people here. Laurie Jerome, Charles Smith, Ufoma. Well, welcome. Well, please, let's go ahead and look for our share button. Please go and look for your share button. Let's look for our share button, okay? Go look for your share button and we'll be ready to go for today. We'll be ready to go. So let's go and share the link. Please go ahead and share this link. Yep, let's do that as fast as possible. And the topic of today is combining your calling with your passion. Combining your calling with your passion. One day I will also speak about combining your calling with your income, with your money, with your income, with your financial freedom. But today is going to be combining your calling and your passion. And I want us to listen to the story of another young man who is also a medical student in Ukraine, but this time, medicine, he actually has passion for medicine. Medicine is his calling. He sees medicine as his calling. But apart from medicine, he has other passions. So what do you do when you know you have passion for something, but apart from that main passion, you still have other passions as well? So what do you do in that kind of situation? That's what we want to deal with today. So how do you combine your calling, which is your fundamental passion, your primary passion, with other passion that you may have? Let me introduce to you the young man that is here with me today. Okay, Samuel, will you introduce yourself, sir?
Hello everyone, good evening. My name is Sam Owoeye, and I'm from Nigeria. I'm a medical student. I'm almost done with my medical school. I will be going to 6th course. I'm studying in Ukraine. Thank you.
So now I'm talking about this topic today, and I want to use you as an example of somebody that has recognized medicine as his main calling. How did you discover that medicine is your main calling?
All right, thank you. Sorry, thank you, sir. Actually, for me, I said medicine is my calling because of things that I've found about calling. Like, okay, what is calling to start with?
Okay.
Calling is what you do to fulfill your purpose.
Yes.
Okay. And, to a lot of us, when we see calling as maybe what you do in church, or maybe like a pastor, or you're evangelist or something religious or something about God, or, spiritual.
Right.
But for me, calling is, like I said, what you do to fulfill God's purpose on earth.
Right.
So it can be about your career. It can be, let me say, like it can be professional, like
Yes.
what you're doing in the world.
Right.
Just make sure you do something that, to fit God's purpose on earth. So
Right.
now, how did I discover my medicine as my calling?
Yeah.
It all started when I was young. I was like, when I was very young, I was admitted to the hospital, and there I met, some doctors attended to me, and when they attended to me, like one of the doctors, like he was so young, and I saw the way he was treating me. He has like a special interest in me, so he started talking with me. Then I really I'm like, wow, I really love this profession. So he was like the first person that built the interest about medicine in me. Okay, apart from
So
that,
God used that guy to
provoke that, like, okay, it all started like, let me say, like a seed.
Yes.
Yes, sir, like a seed.
Just like your story is similar to the story of Elizabeth.
Yes, sir.
and Mary.
Yes, sir.
So Mary, when they met with Elizabeth, she knew the something started leaping in us. In the child leapt in her. So that's the same way God used that to actually quicken your calling. God could use people and circumstances to quicken the calling that He has already built in us.
Yes,
and that's what has happened in your own case. Okay, you wanted to continue explaining.
Yes, sir. So, like, I really saw the way, his courage, the way he was talking with me, I found like something different about him. And since that time, I've like started building interest in, okay, like, wow, I like this profession. And in the hospital too, like, if you know Nigeria and you know UCH, like, is a very popular hospital in Nigeria.
It's
UCH.
a teaching hospital.
Yes. So, and there were so many doctors around, but he's really stood out and really made me have interest in medicine. So since then, I've kind of started building interest in medicine. Then as time goes on, people started talking with me like, oh wow, this guy just say like you have this special care for people, you're passionate about people's health, like if someone is, maybe ill or something, like the way you take it, like I'm just so natural about it. It's not like I'm maybe doing eye service or something, like I'm just like so natural about it. I just like people to be healthy, So then it's like goes on and on and on like that. Later people started talking, like Pastor was saying, the other time he was talking about calling, that he said, what have you found that people really compliment about you?
Yes.
Like when people see something and they say like, wow, like they give those compliments. So people started giving compliments about me, like you're kind of a neat person, like you're too meticulous, you're too organized, like you care about people's health. You're not, that's maybe selfish or something. Like I'm like, then I began to take note of those things. So that was like when I was like my primary school days to like secondary school days. So when I was finishing my secondary school, so I had the passion all through. Like I had, the seed was growing in me all through. So when I finished my my secondary school, I was like, okay, supposed to like write, let me say, like admission exam to go to university. So while I was trying to do that, I had some challenges like
jump.
Yeah, with jump, in Nigeria. So I was like, okay, how am I going to do this? Yeah, so like I couldn't meet up with the cutoff. Then aside from that, I had some other surrounding challenges. Like there was something that happened that really made me, like that passion. Like at a point, I couldn't have the zeal anymore for medicine
because you couldn't get the admission.
I couldn't get the admission because of
the university.
Into the university,
right?
Like it wasn't because of maybe my performance or something, but like there were some surrounding factors there. Maybe like because of the condition of the country.
Okay.
Maybe something that I was hearing. Yeah, I was hearing about. So that kind of for that time made me lost passion for medicine. And I said, okay, let me just opt in for maybe microbiology.
Okay, before you go ahead.
Yes, sir.
Before you go ahead, I want to talk to somebody is asking me here. Okonko Shukwudi Obiajulu is asking me to use Periscope, and he had suggested that the last time, and he's not the only one. Other people have suggested that I use Periscope. Thank you so very much, Okonko, for the suggestion and the idea. You know, I actually started this my thing that I'm doing. I started doing it on Periscope. I started out on Periscope, but I had to stop the Periscope use for some reasons, and let me explain to you the reason. The last time, either you or somebody else says that Periscope has 1 million people or a few millions of people that are there worldwide. But I don't have 1 million people on Periscope, because Periscope works by the same principle that Facebook works. And maybe you need to enlighten me more about this, but if you don't have a lot of followership on Periscope, then you cannot have a lot of people watching you as well. So each time I go on Periscope, first of all, because I was new there, I tried it for 1 month. I only was able to gather less than 100 people. And so that is too small. But on Facebook, I have a large followership. So, you know, I have each program, minimum, we have 1,000 people watching. Sometimes 2,000, 3,000, 5,000, 10,000. So, you know, that's why I prefer Facebook to Periscope. That's number one. Number two, another reason I prefer Facebook is because on Periscope, one day when I finished doing my program like this, I decided to check it the next day to see how it's doing. And then I discovered that the next day or 2 days or 3 days later, it was no more there. So I was wondering, what's happening? What happened to this Periscope recording? I discovered that on Periscope, you don't get to keep your recordings. They only stay there for 24 hours. After 24 hours, the whole thing disappears. It's like working for emptiness. I don't like that kind of work. I like to build momentum. So on Facebook, I prefer it because it stays forever. So anything that is recorded here on Facebook it's forever here. And then I transfer it from here to my blog. I transfer it to my YouTube. So that's why another reason why I prefer to use Facebook than Periscope. Then the third reason is because right now, as we are talking with you right now, as I'm talking to you, I have the reach of today, this whole week. Today is just Monday. This week already, I'm already having 30. Let me see. Let me just tell you. Let me show you. Just so that you don't just believe me. I have over 30 million already this week on my platform that I'm reaching. You see, this is I don't know if you can see the figure. Can it be seen? No, it cannot be seen, right? I don't know how to show it.
Can you zoom it out?
Huh?
Can we zoom it out?
Yeah, that's it. I think it can. 34 million. Can you see? That is 34 million reach. 34 million. 34 million. That's the reach I have right now on Facebook. 34 million 200 and something. So 34 million already potentially already on my Facebook is reaching already this week. And each one of these my program reaches at least 100,000, sometimes 500,000, sometimes 1 million, sometimes 200,000. So I have a big reach on Facebook. But I don't think, can you imagine 34 million? Even the whole of Periscope in the whole world doesn't reach 34 million. And 34 million is just my own reach alone. So that's why I'm arguing out with Facebook. So I don't know if you have stronger arguments, Okonko, I'll be open to that. So maybe you need to write, not just here, but you could write me on my email. My email is pastor@godembassy.org. 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 So for all the people who are calling me to go on Periscope. So you understand the reason why I stick with Facebook, and that's my argument. If you have stronger arguments and you could help me to reach more people on Periscope or any other means, let's do it. I'm ready. I'm open for it. But right now, you could see it. I just showed you. This week alone, I've already reached 34 million people just on my Facebook. Okay, let's go.
Oh, thank you, sir. So So like I was saying, so when I was about to gain admission to university, um, like the passion
Wow,
was
sorry.
lost.
Terry Quinn. Hi, Terry Quinn. Welcome. Terry Quinn is telling me that he has got some amazing technology and he will be able to show me when he visits me. He wants to visit me in Ukraine. When he visits me, he's going to show me some technology of how I could reach even more people. That is beautiful. That will be beautiful. Well, you know, I can't wait to have you, Terry. I can't wait to have you. Blessings. Sorry, Sam.
Oh, alright, sir. So during my admission process, I lost, let me say, like partially the passion for medicine. Yeah, because of the frustration around me that time. So when I was doing my admission, like when I had already gained admission to university for another course. So while I was doing my admission, like doing registration in school, I met one man that was asking me what course I was doing. I said microbiology. So he said, why can't you do medicine? I'm like, yo, I don't like medicine. Like, okay, not like I don't like medicine, but like I love passion for medicine. So I said, like I'm not just interested again. I said initially I had passion for medicine, but I don't like medicine again. He said, why can't you reconsider it again and then like try your luck if maybe you can still do medicine. So that same day, another person met me and then was asking me the same question.
So to cut a long story short,
yes.
God used circumstances, different circumstances,
like
to let you know.
Yes, sir.
To use people
Yeah.
to let you know that your calling is still in medicine.
Yes, sir.
Now, so thank God, because now another question that I have for you is that
Yes, sir.
you are studying right now in a medical school.
Yes, sir.
With Nigerians, many Nigerians.
Yes, sir.
Will you tell me how many people out of the people you know in your class or in your school, what percentage will you say really have passion for medicine like you, or really believe they are called, or they are just there by circumstances, like people, you know, like these people have spoken to us today. I know they said it's success. What do you think about that? Do people really find out their calling? Well, how many people will you say that you have really met that are really called to do this thing?
All right, thank you, sir. Actually, I can say the percentage is very, very small. Like it's very infinitesimal. Now, why? Because because of the factors that I think they've also talked about, like parental factors and circumstantial factors. Now, for people that have really met that had passion for medicine, like really had passion, and I know it's like their calling, and like doing medicine for them is like something so easy. Like they could tell you and convince you, not like they enter medicine for maybe like for pecuniary gain or something, but like they can tell you, convince you, like the reason why they are doing medicine.
What would the percentage be?
Let's say like out of 100, maybe like let's say like 5%.
Only 5%. So 95% they don't.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Now the next question I will have for you. So thank God we have one of those 5%. You.
Yes,
because we had 3 people here this weekend, 3 of you here now, yes, and out of that 3, only you is actually called to do medicine. Yes. Other people are not convinced they are supposed to read medicine, but they are reading medicine.
Yes,
and one of them is supposed to be a thinker and an inventor and a leadership person. Yes, and the other one is supposed to be an illuminator and a speaker. Yes, and he's doing medicine. So, but because that is what they want, that's what their parents. So, this week we are talking about calling. Yes, that people could influence us in the wrong direction, even our parents or our environment or circumstances. Yes, but the good thing is that we have to endeavor to find out, like you found out. Yes, God used circumstances, He used people to help you find out what your calling is. Yes, and you discover what your calling is. So that is wonderful. Now, the question that I will have, the next question I will have for you is that, apart from medicine, you have other callings. Will you tell us about the other callings? I mean, the other passions. Sorry. Your main calling is medicine. I want people to know that apart from their main calling, which could be anything, that they know God called them to do, that they might still have other passion. Some people say, what do we do? What do I do if I have other passion apart from my main calling? So which one do I pursue, or how do I combine the two? So I know that you, apart from medicine, you have other gifts and passion. So what could you tell us about this?
Thank you, sir. Yeah, my other passion, or let me say, other things that I'm also passionate about is teaching. Like I'm passionate about, when I know something, I like to teach people. I like to pass, the same knowledge to other people. Like let them understand what I understood. Yeah, I also had that experience. Like Pastor was saying that, okay, maybe how will you know like your passion or things? Let me say like your gift, what God.
Your calling and your
Yeah,
how will you separate?
Passion. Yeah, how will you separate
Between your calling and your passion.
yeah.
Okay.
So in medical school now, when I eventually like transferred to medicine, I eventually transferred to medicine, and then now I'm doing medicine. So while I was in school, so we used to like have tutorials with our colleagues. So most times when I teach, people be like, "Wow, I like the way you teach this thing." Like even our teacher, our lecturers don't teach that way. So like, how do you understand these things? How do you? So I found out that like people really like they really like the way I teach, and then they want me to like build myself up and then develop the skills of teaching people. Like maybe I could maybe eventually end up being a teacher or something. I said, no, you guys should not go there. Like I just like to be a doctor, like a medical doctor.
So teaching is not your calling.
It's not my calling. But
so you don't like to become a teacher professionally, even though you, as a passion, you like to still realize yourself in that direction.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
So there's a way I've kind of tried to merge, or let me say like align everything together, like to make it like whole. Now what I want to do is that really decided the area I want to specialize in medicine.
Okay.
And that is that aspect of preventive medicine.
Preventive
medicine, yeah.
Okay.
Like preventive medicine is like an aspect of public health where you orientate people about their health, about the health promotion, health maintenance, and disease prevention. So I'm going to like go on a crusade of orientating people about their health, about how to maintain their health, and how to prevent disease.
Educate
people,
okay.
Yeah. So through that teaching skills, like, okay, teaching people, I'm going to still deliver my, let me say like my medical calling.
Okay.
I don't know if you get.
And
like,
also fulfill your passion.
Fulfill my passion. Yeah. So that's the way I want to do it.
Because this thing we are talking about is very important, because your calling is your primary mandate on earth.
Yes, sir.
It's your primary purpose for which God created you. Every one of us has got that primary purpose and calling on earth. So you need to look inside. I've given out a lot of principles by which or through which you could know what's your primary purpose and calling on earth. And some of those you could, if you missed out on these teachings, you could go back from Wednesday. We started last Wednesday. And, from Wednesday till now, every day, you could go to SundayAdelajablog.com and and get and listen to some of those teachings that will tell you how to discover your calling. And you could go to Facebook, YouTube as well, Sunday Adelaja Official. There are keys that have been given already how to discover your calling. And by the grace of God, I will continue tomorrow as well to keep on teaching us how to discover who you are, how to discover your calling. Then after we finish teaching on how to discover who you are, your calling, we're going to be talking about how to develop it and how to maximize it and how to turn your passion and your calling into money, how to sustain yourself financially through your calling. Because a lot of people know that they are called to do something, but they are not sure it could sustain them financially. And because they don't have the means to sustain themselves financially, they just go to work. They just go to get a job. And they are not pursuing their calling and their passion. So I have somebody here today that has his calling is medicine. He knows his medicine, that you know that medicine is his calling. But also he knows that he has other passion. So what do you want to tell us more about? Yes.
Oh, thank you, sir. Yeah. My other passion is also about leadership. Like I'm so passionate about leadership. Yeah, let me say like in every sector. Now, especially in medical world and political world. Like the way I understand leadership is your ability to influence people with what you have, with what you know. So Yeah, and I've been kind of like building myself, like let me say, like acquire some skills to implement that. Yeah. Then another thing is, I also have this
So the
gift.
fact that, which is very good point,
Yes, sir.
a very good point you are making. The fact that you have a calling
Mm-hmm.
should not negate all your other gifts.
Yes, sir.
The fact that you have a calling should not erase or wipe out all other gifts that you have. You have a calling, yes, pursue your calling, but your other gifts are there and placed there by God to supplement. To supplement the primary calling, the primary purpose that you are supposed to fulfill on earth. For example, if you are called into medicine, you see, Samuel just proved to us that through education, he could actually, that gift, that passion that he has for education and for teaching could actually enhance his medical practice. It could enhance it by even helping him to know what aspect of medicine to specialize on. And in the discovery, is going to specialize in the area of medicine that gives room not just to teach it in school as a profession. That is, some people might have that passion to teach medicine in school, but his own passion is to practice medicine, but practice it in the area through teaching, through preventive medicine, by educating people in the secrets of health and to live a healthy lifestyle to preventive medicine rather than just curing disease. So you see, his passion is complementing his calling, and his passion is actually suggesting to him the particular aspect of the calling that he has. So your other complementary passions might be necessary for you to be able to pinpoint. Because if you talk about engineering, for example, you might have all different kinds of engineering, mechanical engineering, chemical engineering, all kind of engineering. But there are some other things that you have in you. There are some other passion that you have that will be able to direct you and guide you, like to be able to pinpoint to you what particular aspect of engineering that you have. Consult yourself, consult your passions, consult your other passion. And so that's what we're learning from Samuel's testimony today. That apart from knowing through his passion to teach, apart from him knowing that he's supposed to do preventive medicine, we also know that he has another passion as well, which is leadership. So, and leadership is so key for him to be able to take initiative and for him to be able to know, is he going to just be on the field practicing medicine, or is going to build structures, is going to build systems that will be able to, make him to be able to deliver this preventive medicine to the world. And it is leadership that makes you to be in the front, to build a system, a structure, that to lead, to build infrastructure, that to be able to carry out that your mission and calling. I hope I'm getting.
In fact, I just love the way you are saying, because you're just saying my mind. So perfect. I like the way you.
I'm a preacher.
Yeah, thank you so much, sir. Yeah. Let me really tell you the way I wanna. I found out that God has really put that burden on my heart to go on this crusade. To turn medical world around, to turn it upside down. Mm-hmm. I'm going to go to Nigeria and change the health system altogether. Now, how do I intend to do that? Now, people have seen medicine over the years as, for treatment. You come to doctor for treatment, you come to doctors for maybe, you're healed and then they prescribe drugs for you, and then you go back home and then you're okay, and maybe next time you're sick, you just go to the counter and get your own drugs, But I want to bring a new mentality, I want to bring in a new system, you can maintain your health, you can prevent disease. So if everybody has this preventive mentality, if you understand that you can remain healthy without you necessarily getting sick, because I even see a lot of problem with people getting sick when they can prevent the sickness, when they can prevent the disease. For instance, I learned that, do you know that the cost of prevention is half the cost of treatment? For you to treat a disease or illness is times 2 the cost of prevention. So in other words, you're spending more
treatment with
compared to prevention. And the other thing is, if you are doing prevention, if you are doing treatment, now it's like the system is deteriorating. Like your system is after
Your resistance level is broken down.
reduced.
Okay.
Then the productivity, or let me say like the immunity, the system is less productive. Like
After treatment.
After treatment, you get it, sir. Like for instance, okay, maybe if someone is maybe like your ass wound, for instance, now.
Yeah.
Now, if you had a wound and that part of the skin is cut, now even if your body, that part of your body is healed, the scar cannot be compared to the normal skin.
Right.
So you say that even after a long time, you still have that scar, even on your body.
Yes.
So better to prevent that wound than to you have that wound and then now be treating it. So the same thing for your for
that
any
is
kind
your
of
teacher aspect right there.
Yes, sir. So anything for for kind of disease. So if you're kicked down with a disease, it will make you less economically productive. You'll be less financially productive. You'll be less compared to if you had prevented that disease even at the first instance. So prevention is always more advantageous than the treatment. And another thing that I really want to work on is the aspect of treatment. Like you see doctors prescribing drugs. Now there's no drug that you take inside your body that does not have toxic effects.
Wow. Yeah.
After its therapeutic effects, it's still going to put some like deposit in your body that after a long time is going to cause damage to your system, like the kidneys, the lungs, the liver, the heart. Like more than 90% of kidney disease are due to like drugs.
Wow.
You can like the long-term effects. Yes, all this chronic disease. So you see that prevention is always more advantageous than the treatment. So I really want to like go on this crusade of orienting people about their about their health, how you can maintain your health, how you can promote your health, and then how you can prevent disease. So there are like three major specialties that I really want to work on to change the medical world. So, and I believe that doing that is going to help people a lot. And looking at that prevention, now I realize that, okay, the major way you can do the prevention is to understand the system. Like understand your system and the environment. You understanding your system is like, I think is a normal thing for every human being on earth to understand their system.
You mean their body system?
Yes, their body system.
Okay.
Thank you, sir. Their body system. Like, you should understand that, we have the external environment and the internal environment. So the internal environment is like what we call like, you maintain your internal environment, homeostasis.
Okay.
So you maintain your internal environment. So your body has a way of maintaining its own environment.
Okay.
Because it's autonomous.
Okay.
So, but the external environment is the one that, you do externally.
Okay.
But you also have to understand how your body maintains the internal environment, so that you can also know how to maintain the external environment.
To keep yourself healthy.
To keep yourself healthy. So if something goes wrong with the internal environment, that's when maybe like you come down with disease or external environment. So it's always problem with the environment, whether internal or external, that causes disease. So now understanding that environment is going to help us to know how to prevent disease.
Okay,
or
now
how to maintain our health.
So, which is very, anybody listening to you will be sure that you know your calling and you have an understanding for it.
Yes, sir.
And you have passion for your calling. Yes, and this week we are talking about calling.
Yes, sir.
Purpose and mission.
Yes, sir.
That every one of us has been packaged to do something on earth. We have been sent here. Nobody is an accident. Every one of us was packaged from heaven to resolve a particular situation or a particular problem on earth. There is nobody that was sent here just that God will say, okay, you get there, then we'll later find out what you'll become. No, it doesn't happen. Yes, God, first of all, gets the problem, identifies a problem on the earth, then it creates you as a response to a problem. Yes, so we are all created as a response to a certain problem. Yes, the thing that you are describing right now, yes, you were packaged from heaven to provide that answer. Because God knew that it was not there and it is not going to be there before you come. And God gave you those potentials, the leadership, to be able to take the initiative and be the one to pioneer it. That's why the leadership supplementary gift is needed. And then the teaching supplementary gift that you have also was given because you needed to communicate this. And God knew that prevention is better than cure. So, and that you needed all this. So even looking at your life and studying your story right now, you could tell that God packages all of us for something on the earth. We are not here by accident. And there is nobody that is just born on earth just by himself or by accident. So that we are custom made for a solution. We are custom made for a problem. We are custom packaged to be able to provide solution, answers to some situation on earth. So your own story right now is a confirmation of how that works. And before we go back to your story and to medicine and your calling and everything like that, I want us to now relate it back to how was all this enhanced, or how was your gift, or what did meeting Pastor Sunday or Pastor Sunday's teaching, what did it contribute to your calling, to your gift, to you as a person right now?
All right, thank you for that question. Okay, when I met Pastor, let me say like
you first heard somewhere, or you first meet me before you started listening, or is the opposite?
Okay. Okay, yeah, I've read about you, and I've maybe read your book sometimes, then maybe watch you on YouTube or on video. Yeah. But when I met you one-on-one, when I met Pastor one-on-one, like I had an encounter. And the encounter was like he spoke about how God doesn't, like, let me say, like, God is not like a determinant of your success in life. If I can use that word, like if you can put it that way. Like God has put everything you need for your success in you. Okay, and he used the approach of, like, I think he quoted the scripture, say, God has made you the head. You never be the head and not the tail.
Did you say you had me say something when you met me the first time, or what? Because you said you had an encounter.
Yeah, with you.
Okay.
Yes, sir. Yeah, I said I had an encounter with you.
Is it physically? Or
yeah, physically. Yeah, physically.
What happened?
Yeah, that's what I'm trying to describe now. Like the way you brought the message to me, like, we talk about this destiny thing, and people think maybe like.
So we were discussing. Were you listening in a hall? Was it a teaching? What's it?
No, like like
you are talking. You are not talking to me. You are talking to them.
Yeah. So like it was like a meeting with pastor. Okay, yeah, not
like
a
one-on-one church meeting or church meeting. You have to describe that.
Okay, one-on-one meeting.
Okay.
With him, yeah. So then he was talking about his experience. Like I was asking him. So he was talking about his experience. Then he now mentioned, so I asked about his success, like what is the secret behind his success in life? Like I've read about it and now I'm seeing the results. So I wanted to know what was the secret behind the success. So then he was talking about like success in life is not by being lucky or being fortunate, or maybe you are lucky or you are, by fate or something.
It's not by accident.
By accident, He said it's through hard work. Like God has put everything you need to succeed in you, and then it's now left for you to harness everything He has put in you. To bring it to, for manifestation, like to bring it to reality.
Through hard work.
Through hard work, yeah. He really emphasized on that word, hard work. Like, we think, if God has maybe given you power to, stumble over serpent and this thing, and maybe you could just go and sleep or something. But he really emphasized on the power that God has put in us to put to work. So then I found out, one major key I found out, from his, story that he shared with me was like, he really harnessed that thing that God has put in him, that power, that ability, everything God has put in him, he put them to work. How?
Through hard work.
Hard work, yeah. Okay. Through hard work. So then subsequently, so I really got so challenged, by that. I'm like, wow. So like, God has given us all this thing, and then just for us to believe it and then start working on it. So then I started, like my life took a turnaround from that time. Then I started listening to, more of his messages. Then till we now got to this aspect of the calling, where we were talking about how you can really discover, your calling, your passion, and, other gifts God has put in you. So, and for me, really, it was like a big encounter. So,
And a big confirmation.
Confirmation, yes, yes, sir.
Of your calling.
Of my
so
calling.
Listening to these teachings,
Yes, sir.
While did they affirm what you already knew, that yes, medicine is really my calling, and
Oh, definitely, yes, sir. Like this aspect of calling, for me, really, like gave me more revelation about. I'm like, wow. It was when we were teaching that I now like had like a throwback. I mean, like reminiscence on things that have happened in the past. My childhood. Like I never talked about this in my life, like to people. So, but when you talked about it, then I now sat down. Looked at things that happened to me. What people, like analysis.
You are doing analysis
of what happened to me in the past. How people, what people, told me that time. So then I got it clearer. I'm more ascertain that okay, wow, this is really my calling. So I really thank you so much, sir, for that that revelation. Like it's really like took me a step higher and more. More convinced in my spirit. So now I can tell people convincingly that no, I'm just so sure that medicine is my calling, with all the experience I've had in the past and with people.
What will you tell people? Do you think maybe you should help or share your story with people? You said 95% of people in your medical school,
yes,
they
sir.
are not even called to do medicine.
Yes, sir.
Don't you feel after listening to me how to discover yourself, and after coming here, yes, and discovering yourself and getting affirmation about your calling,
yes, sir.
Don't you feel challenged that maybe you should also help other people in them, especially those people who are in medical school here, that are here just because their parents or other reasons why they are in medical school? Do you feel any kind of challenge or any, provoked maybe to help some people to discover their real self, their real calling? And is there any way you could minister to them? You could tell them, you could exhort them or help them to discover who they are?
Very well, sir. Like, okay, I like talking with people, really. That means like one-on-one. And I really realized that, like, okay, that's like people in medical school. Yeah, that was how I could come up with that conclusion. And I realized that a lot of people don't even know the reason why they are doing medicine. Like, they will tell you, okay, maybe they just give you one flimsy excuse or one flimsy reason.
Because they want to get a good job.
I want to get a good job. I want to get a good pay. I like the course, So I'm like, really? So why are you wasting your time in medical school? So when they tell me other things that they like doing, I'm like, really medicine is not your calling. So what are you going to do now? Now what I advise is, okay, since you're in medical school and you're almost done, finish what you're doing, at least come out, succeed in what you're doing now.
Graduate.
Then you can now maybe focus on your own calling. Then when you're talking with your parents or talking with anyone that maybe like your guardian or something, like they also want to see your own conviction, like not just talking like I just think, like they want to see that conviction in you, like now you know what you're doing, you know what you're saying with proofs and reasons, because I also realize that people don't, they don't, when they are talking with their parents, don't even have maybe they are still young, so parents can influence them.
They don't have their own.
They don't have their own position, so they can't even present the thing, the point in a kind of, matured way. But after maybe like the medical school, then they can maybe talk to the people there, maybe like their superiors, and tell them that, oh, I think I've really found my purpose, or let me say like my calling. I also think that.
What about if they have not found it? What will you tell them to be able to find? What did you discover through this teaching about calling
yes,
that you could share with young people who are your schoolmates,
yes,
and they are doing the wrong thing? You know that they are doing the wrong thing.
Yes, sir.
And what are the suggestions you could give to them that will help them to actually find and discover who they are calling?
Oh, wow. So I think you've already provided answers to all these, giving answers to all these questions. Yeah. And I think the one that really, struck me most is that one that you talked about, that I'm talking about now, like discovering yourself or discovering your calling through the eyes of people.
Through the eyes of other people.
Eyes of other people. Now you see, God has placed people around us, not just for, putting sake, but to also be like, to be God's eyes or God's way of talking to us. So Pastor was saying then that you may not even need to like maybe go to God and say, okay, God, what is my calling or something. But it could be like people that God has placed around you, maybe through their compliments or through their, comments, what they say about you, maybe something negative or positive. Can you just take time to think about it? It could even maybe like your experience, the experience that you had in the past. I was sharing my own of how, I like got confirmation of my calling to be medicine. Even at a point when I lost passion, for it, God still like used, two men the same day to tell me that, you can still try medicine again. So people around us could really be, factor, your experience, and your when you take time to meditate to your, let me say like your gift, things that you like doing, without so much stress or struggle, could actually be like a pointer to your calling and passion in your life, So I really do like a practical, not like making it theoretical, but make it so practical. So can you sit down and then maybe take time to meditate, take time to think, like have a moment of reflection on what has happened to you in the past, things that people have spoken to you in the past. Pastor was saying maybe like when you were young, that you don't have like so much influence, that maybe people can talk to you maybe because you are now influential or because of maybe any gain from you or favor from you. But at that time, like when you were young, people can like talk to you anyhow, just talk their mind out. So that time, like it could be like maybe like a true acid test of who you really are from what people are saying to you, like their comments, their compliments, maybe what they like about you or what they hate about you. I remember those days when people would tell me, you're just so like, why you just so care about people, like the way they talk to me. Even it may be like maybe on negative, these one just talk, just get so like all these small things, just you get too too concerned about people's health, like you want to know how someone is doing, how someone is feeling, how someone is, why can't you just face your own business? Even I still, so all those things, they're like, oh wow, so you mean I'm really passionate about people's health? You mean I'm really passionate about people's well-being? I'm like, wow. So those are like things that really,
And to confirm what you are saying,
yes, sir.
because that teaching was done last week,
Yes, sir.
and it is called getting to know your calling through the eyes of other people.
Yes, sir.
So that's just one of the secrets
yes,
of
sir.
discovering who you are,
Yes, sir.
and what your callings are.
Yes, sir.
And there are some other secrets,
yes.
that were given. And that the recordings are there.
Yes, sir.
And on SundayAdelajablog.com and YouTube, Sunday Adelaja Official. People could go there and get the callings. Yes, so okay, now still talking about combining your passion. Are there some other things that you are planning? We see your dream,
yes, sir.
For medicine, and we see for teaching,
yes,
leadership. Yes, are there some other things that you are already doing or you plan to do concerning bringing your calling to pass?
All right. Thank you, sir. Yeah, like I have some strategies. Okay, of course, number one, I want to develop myself very well, like really build myself, and let me say like finish my medical school, go for my master's, and then begin to execute my strategy. And one of the ways I want to like implement that is like to first form a team. And Pastor told me with my with my friends, like he gave us strategy on how to form a team and build your team. So like I'm gonna form a team, like maybe like with few people first, then let them understand that preventive concept. I'm gonna take my time, let them understand it very well, like the way it's running in my system. I'm just so passionate about it, like the way is. I'm just so passionate about it. So I'm going to communicate that to them. Then I'm working on like writing a book on preventive mentality. I want to write a book on preventive mentality.
The culture, preventive culture kind of, right?
Yeah. Like, how people, it's going to be like they should understanding their system, their body system, the environment I talked about. I'm going to put it like, make it so plain. So an average person that can read that book, we understand their body system and we know what can affect their health and how they can maintain, how they can promote and prevent disease. Okay, so these are like strategies just that I'm going to put in place to now launch that crusade of letting people know about, like that crusade of prevention, like preventive medicine. So for people not to like for them not to focus on treatment, like getting drugs to treat their body, but always preventing, going on that prevention, prevention,
lifestyle.
Lifestyle.
Because it's changing the lifestyle of the people.
Yeah, yes, sir. Yes, sir. So I'm gonna build a team. Then I'm gonna write a book, maybe make some publications, maybe make some, let me say, like presentations or something, like to just make like, to make sure like I reach out to people to like pass across that, that message undiminished, to people. So.
Excellent. What has this week done for you? You see this, you came since yesterday, 2 days ago?
Oh, like 3 days ago now.
3 days ago. So yes, what has this week done for you of being here in Pastor Sunday's house?
Oh, really? Very, very, my God. Like I was sharing with my friends that like every message I heard from Pastor is always like, it's always eating me, like it's always coming afresh. Even with maybe a topic that I've maybe heard before or something. But the way he has this special revelation that when he's talking or when he's, teaching, it's just going to come to you afresh. And it's going to stir up something in you. Like, I know it's not natural. Probably that may be part of maybe his own gift or calling or something, But I just know that every time he ministers, every time he teaches, there's always, something that is stirred up in me, And I really want to, thank him so much because I know it's like, like he used to say, like all these things come from adequate preparation, hard work, like you have to, sit down, get the revelation and then, pass it across well. So I've really like gained a lot. I've gained a lot, talking about people coming to share their testimonies, what has happened to them, that one to like what God has used pastor for. Like there's so many mind-blowing things that, that has happened to me. So I really thank God that I met Pastor and I came here this time to, come and have this time with Pastor. Thank you so much, sir.
This is the first time you are staying in my house. It's coming to stay with me, right?
Oh,
you just came to visit, but not to stay before.
No, yeah, okay. True.
So why did you decide to come to visit me this time?
Well.
Okay. What motivated you to come and spend some days in my house?
Yeah, the previous encounters. The previous contacts. Yeah, I did. Yeah. Okay, there's this thing I have that, when I see someone great and I see the results, so I'm so passionate about, want to know how did this person get this result. Like I know it's not going to be like superficial, something like just meeting you in the public and say, hello pastor, how are you doing?
Lay hands on me.
Just lay hands, casual contact, but it has to be,
deeper,
like coming closer, getting to know, to understand the secret, which is not going to be something superficial, something just transient. So I had to cover that time to come and, meet with pastor and really learn a lot of things.
But you've been here for how many years?
Country.
Yes.
Okay, I came on transfer from Nigeria. We're studying.
How long have you been in Ukraine?
Like 3 years ago.
3 years.
Yeah.
So you've been in Ukraine for 3 years.
For over 3 years, yeah.
So why didn't you come to see me before then?
Before then?
Oh, I was not here 3 years ago.
Yeah. So okay, even before we came here, before I came here, you know, I've always heard about Pastor, you know, Pastor Sunday, like that's, you know, a very big man of God. So
maybe
I
you didn't believe it was possible or what?
yeah, like, you know, we always had this mentality about, you know, this big man of God, like, he has like the, you know, the biggest church in Eastern Europe or even Europe, and then he has Ukrainians in his church, like everybody. So like I've heard about the exploits, you know, about the results. So I'm like, how can I go and meet this, you know, this man of God and say, okay, I want to see you or something. So I had this mentality, you know, this Nigerian mentality that big men of God are, you know, always difficult to see, and then maybe for you to see them, you have to register, and then maybe maybe it may take maybe like a whole year for you to even see them, you know. So for a while, I just, okay, let me say, maybe I may see you by accident, but I didn't really plan to, like, before I didn't plan to say, okay, let me come and see you. I mean, like, for what? You may not even give me the audience, so why wasting my time? So I just, okay, let me just, you know, because of my mentality about, you know,
because of what you knew from where you're coming from.
Yeah, like big men of God are, you know, always like
unaccessible or what?
Yeah, maybe. Then the protocols and, you know, like the protocol you have to follow to see them is like a long process. So
you thought it's the same thing here?
Yeah, yes, very well. Like I thought so. Like
very
seeing
well.
You, like,
what do you mean very well?
I mean, like seeing you for me, I don't think it's gonna be that easy. Like it's gonna be like you may not be that kind of person that is accessible. Although I've not met you, but I know. Even the first day we met you, I remember the way you just came out and then you were talking. I'm like, are you serious? This is Pastor? Like I was so surprised. I'm like, no, tell me this is Pastor. You know. So the way you came out, it wasn't like maybe like and maybe two people will come to us and say, "No, Pastor is coming. You push, just keep quiet, okay?" And another person will come, okay, 2 minutes to come. Like, you know, they will be telling you like, you people have to, you know, the way you came, you know, unaware or noticed, like, I'm like, seriously. So it gave me that kind of, I mean, your liberality, like you're free, so to speak. You're just so free to meet with people, and that kind of, you know, it really got me thinking like, wow. So I could see your humility, you know, your down to earth kind of person. So I'm like, wow, I was so impressed, you know. I was really so impressed.
So when you were coming,
yes,
it means you didn't know what to expect.
Really, like just like the way I said now, like when you're meeting with a pastor, you know, like a big man of God, you know, like you will see people will tell you, okay, you people should just sit down, you people should keep quiet, people, you know, like the way they will tell like you're meeting president. Yeah, in like you're meeting with president or with not even president, like Obama, you know, some very big guy, you know. So it's kind of so the way you came in, I said, you people are welcome. Let's come out, you know, let's talk. I'm like, really? You mean this is pastor that, you know, that owns the, like, I was now relating that with your exploits, like things that you've done. I was trying to, you know, do you mean this is pastor or somebody is like his ghost or something? Like I couldn't believe it. Like, I mean, seriously, I'm being frank now. I couldn't believe it because I thought it would be like maybe, you know, some people will have come. They will have come and, you know, like, it's like before president comes, so some people will have come and then, you know, like put fear in you, like people should just, you know, you should just keep quiet, calm down,
behave yourself,
you know, don't. Then pastor will now come and say, yes, you know, yeah, come. So, but the way you came was like, wow, I really got so impressed. I'm like, wow, this is the man of.
But where did you get that kind of concept from? That's the way pastors meet with people.
It's not concept. It's just the way it happens. Like the way we see it. Not like maybe what I thought about. It's just the way.
So you didn't. Is this not for your fantasy?
It's not. And I'm sure a lot of people can bear me witness. Like it's not. Like I'm not saying like maybe some pastors are not accessible or they are not. Maybe we can't approach them. But maybe like let me say like the environment, the people around them, the way they make things so hard, and then the way they turn them to God. Like no, that the way they just say no, you can't just meet them anyhow. You can't. I wouldn't know. But your own approach, I think, you are just, I think it runs down from the head. Like, your own kind of person, the way you make people around you feel like I'm not like a god that now, or like a boss that now, turn everybody to like slaves, and then maybe you push there's just putting fear in people and then make them like suppress them kind of. So your own approach is not like that. So you're not putting entourage around you, putting protocols, say you have to follow this procedure to meet me or something. It's not like not being organized, but there's a way you do things, and you know that at least this person is accessible enough. You can always talk.
So you didn't know you could come and stay in my house when you came here 3 years ago?
I wouldn't think so. Like I wouldn't say maybe, or let me say what I can think is maybe like someone will have maybe like got so close to you for maybe like a year or 2 years or 3 years, then you can ask, okay, maybe you can, maybe your pastors or your, these people that are very close to you, but not people like us that, we are just...
You're talking about yourself.
Myself, no, I wouldn't think so.
You wouldn't think what?
I wouldn't think that maybe you can just allow me to, or give me that, access to come and then, come to your house and even sit with you, talk with you, even when you laugh, you say, give high five, the way we just smile, and I'm like, wow, this is just, like, seriously, like the Bible says, the love cast out fear. So when I see your expression of love, so it cast out fear. So because there's this fear that, okay, when you're meeting someone very high, there's this fear that you have. So when you are meeting the person and then you see them showing you love, so the love that they show to you cast out the fear in you. So you could express yourself, you could manifest your gift. That's why people under you could manifest easily, because the love has cast out the fear, and then now they can, they can live good. They can, they're not feeling any oppression or any slavery mentality. And you sit down there, oh, you keep quiet, you, what are you saying there? You, even when someone is talking rubbish, you still want to give the person, that allowance to say whatever you have in your mind. Whatever idea you have, whether it's foolish or not foolish, just say what you have. That is mind blowing. That is like, I see that heart of humility, and Spirit of God.
But now you're living in my house, so you have to tell your people at home that it's possible to even stay in the house of pastor.
In fact. Very well, sir. Very well. Like, I can't just, like, there's so many things I've learned about you. So many things I've learned about you. And from you. I've learned so many things about you, and I've learned so many things from you. Like, your kind of person, your personality, it's just so mind-blowing. It's so mind-blowing. The way you think, the way you approach situations, the way you approach people. Even the other time we were talking, and you're saying, even if I heard something bad about someone, maybe like they said someone is a thief, and you said you can even invite the person to your house. I'm like, really? You heard that someone is a thief, and not even like one person or two people, like almost everybody was saying this person is a thief, and I say I will still give the person benefit of doubt to come. I'm like, really? And it's not like you want to gain something from the person, but just to give the person like that welcoming. That welcoming nature. He's a human being, like that welcoming, spirit, that welcoming nature, like it just, come. And when you extend that love, like that loving spirit, I'm like, no, come on. This is something that I should really emulate and, show to other people too. So I really want to tell you that you really have that, that spirit of love, that spirit of God, that's...
Because if for example, the idea is that why should you think that I should allow you into my house, but the other guy I shouldn't allow him into my house?
Okay, why should I think?
Yes. So what do you do to deserve to be accepted by me? Oh. What did you do to deserve it? You didn't do anything to deserve in my house, in my eyes. You didn't do anything for you to be accepted by me. You didn't do anything for you to be accepted in my house or to come and stay in my house. You didn't need to do anything for that. You don't even have the time to prove yourself. So I don't know if you're a thief also. Somebody also might be thinking you are a thief too. Or somebody might be thinking you are bad. But why should I still accept you to my house? Because you are a human being. And you deserve to be given the benefit of the doubt. So the same other guy also is a human being. Even if anybody is saying he's a thief or he's a bad guy or he's not a Christian, he's not a believer, he's a Muslim, it doesn't matter. He's a human being, and on the basis that he's a human being, he is made in the image, in the likeness of God. On that basis alone, it deserves that I pay attention to him. And if he's so desirous to come and learn from me, I should give him the benefit of that until he proves himself to be evil or to be a thief in my house. You're on the same footing. He's a human being just like you. So some people who come to tell me that this one is bad, don't accept it. And I'm thinking in my mind, but you yourself, what did you do to deserve to be accepted? So you are thinking you deserve to be accepted, but other people don't deserve to be accepted. What have you done to deserve? What are your criteria that makes you to deserve it? You don't get what I'm trying to say.
I get your point, sir. Yeah, and that was why I said, for me, it was like a big surprise, because you're asking, okay, like, would it have thought that maybe will have come to my house? I mean, like, will I have accepted you to come to my house, to come and stay in my house? And I said I wouldn't have thought so. And I told you the reason why. I said because I think men of God are kind of big men of God. You don't like to assess them or to talk with them is kind of maybe difficult or so. And it's like maybe people that are very close to them, maybe people like maybe they are pastors or people that are, that are maybe like very close to them.
Who have done something, who deserve it.
You get, so that's kind of people that we can stay with them, but not people that maybe that are still like coming up and then they are not even sure whether they. So even for me too, I was surprised. I mean, like I was really surprised. So,
but even when you came,
yes, sir.
When you came with a team of how many people?
With a team, we're 3.
You have Christians, you had non-Christians, you have Muslims even.
Yes, sir.
Or not?
Yeah, we had no Muslim.
Okay, did I accept all of you the same?
You did.
You can tell us the story that you came. Tell them the story.
With the team. Okay, yeah. So my first encounter with Pastor was really actually about our team. That's like the government students from Osun State that we came on scholarship. So we came to visit Pastor and to share some of the things that we had in mind.
You are not my members?
We're not.
And you are not all Christians?
We're not.
Some of you are Muslim?
One of us
was a Muslim.
Yeah, was a Muslim.
Some of you are not from. None of you is from my state.
You don't mean no.
Okay, so I never knew any one of you.
No.
Okay, so
okay, I think except success.
Okay.
Yeah, we came together too. Yeah. So when we came here, and then we said, okay, we wanted to see Pastor, and he said, okay, Pastor is coming. I was okay. So we're waiting. So we were thinking like maybe you're coming in the evening. Like there was a time that you said you're gonna come to meet us, but the moment you got the notice that we are around, so all of a sudden it just came, let me say like from nowhere, and I'm like, wait, so we're just trying to, this is Pastor. I said, yeah, Pastor is around. So the way you came out and said, okay, let's go out and then let's have a meeting. I'm like, seriously? So I was so surprised because it was like the liberality, like the
freedom.
The freedom, the way you, the love, like, I'm like, seriously, this is, so that really like shocked me, like, wow. So I didn't expect it, like, I didn't expect it. So that was why I said, like, your kind of person, your personality really for me is, is one of a kind.
It's a lesson. It's not the idea is not for you to be one of a kind. The idea is for you to learn to treat people like God would treat people. To accept people like God will accept people. And to make people feel that they are important not because they have done something, or not because they deserve it, not because they have achievements, but because they are human beings. To treat people as if they are God's nature. And they are actually God's nature. That's why Jesus said that any one of you that accepts you, accepts me. Yeah, and Jesus said, I was naked. It was not people who were naked. I was the one who was naked. But people didn't see him. People didn't treat him like him. They treated people like people. But if you treat everybody, you learn to treat everybody as God, as you would treat Jesus, you will never miss it. So the fact that the other guy in your team was a Muslim doesn't change anything. It's God's nature as well. If we will become, because that's what love is, and that is what being a Christian is. If we will become real Christians like this, to be treating people as we would treat Jesus, the world will become a better place. Amen. And if you go back to your school and you begin to treat them like this as well, concerning their calling and their destiny, their purpose, you will make so many disciples, you will be shocked. Wow. Well, it was nice being with you. Thank you so much for your time.
Thank you so much.
And so, anyway, everybody, sorry, our time is overboard. And if you have any comment that you want to make, please go ahead and write your comments today. We had a wonderful talk with Samuel that is combining your calling and your passion. And we've seen the way Samuel is doing it. His calling is medicine, but he has a passion for leadership, for teaching, and we see the way God has helped him to have that in the right perspective. So let us know what your lessons are today, what you have learned, and also go and share the link. Let's go and share this link and let other people also be blessed. Okay. Okay, people are talking. Sheikh Anyo said, Pastor, he is right. They say you are right. Great men of God are semi-gods. Too much protocol around them. So, Omo Wonola Olu said, sometimes it's the people around them. Ola Martin says, for those that are suffering from cancer like me, is there something to prevent medication? I do chemotherapy once a week and it wears down the body. So that's a question for you.
All right. I didn't elaborate very well about it. That's why I said I'm going to release some materials that's going to help. And I'm also looking forward to have a platform where I can really express, all these things. Now, understand that prevention is in different levels. Okay. Starting from primordial level, we have primordial prevention, we have primary prevention, we have secondary prevention, we have tertiary prevention, and we have quaternary prevention. Okay. Now, from primordial prevention, now you are making sure that you remove the risk factors, okay, of whatever is going to cause disease. That's primordial prevention. So primary is, there's already a risk factor, but you're trying to work on it so that it will not cause disease. Okay, but let me just go straight to your question so that I won't take time. Now the point is, depending on the level of your cancer, okay, so...
She's already doing
chemotherapy. Yeah, chemotherapy has to do with drugs, and drugs, I said, has all this toxic effect on the body. Now, depending on the cause of the cancer,
okay,
yeah, depending on the cause. So, I need to get get the diagnosis right about your cancer. Know what's the cause. Then we know how we can address. How we can work on the prevention. How we can prevent it from getting more worse, and then even try to reduce mitigate the effect it's going to have on the body. So we are working on two things: prevent it from getting worse. 1, 2, mitigating the effects in the body. So those two, that's why I said the prevention is not maybe you may have the symptoms or the disease even already in your body, but the prevention will still go further to prevent the thing from getting worse. 1,